Hey guys, we're going to learn how to do this coin flip animation. We're going to use Blender's physics engine to do it, but don't be alarmed, no prior experience necessary. We're going to keep it pretty simple, and I may do the texturing in a later course, but this video will just explain how to set up the animation. So start with an empty scene, delete that default cube if you have it, and add a plane. Scale it to about the size of the grid here. Then extrude it down -1 unit in the Z direction. Next, add a cylinder and scale it down in just the Z direction to about this size. This will be our coin. Grab it up a little so it's above the ground plane. Maybe scale it down a little bit more, alright? Alright, next add the force field. Go down to force field here and select force up at the top. Switch to the side view mode and drag the coin so it's resting just above the ground. Now let's add the physics to our scene. Make sure the ground plane is selected, and on the properties tab here all the way at the right, click this icon. Then add a rigid body and a collision physics property. Then in the rigid body section, turn off this dynamics checkbox. This means that our rigid body will not react to any force. Then select the coin and do the same thing. Add a rigid body and a collision property. Alright, now select the force field, and we're just going to make sure we set everything up right. Make the strength 1000 and press Alt-A to start the animation. And this coin should just keep shooting up at the sky. If yours didn't do this, make sure the ground and the coin have collision and rigid body properties. If the ground dropped, like it responded to gravity, make sure you uncheck the dynamic checkbox in the ground plane's rigid body properties. Reset the animation frame to 1, not 0, but 1. We need to make sure we only get a little jolt to boost the coin up and then let gravity take it back down. So hover the mouse over this strength property and press I. This will insert a keyframe for the strength so that at frame 1, the strength will always be 1000. Then press the right arrow key to move the frame to frame 2 and change the strength to 0. Then press I again. This will make sure that at frame 2 and onwards we have 0 strength for the force field. So the force field will only be active for frame 1 and then it'll shut off. Let's try this again. And look at that wee coin try to jump. Alright, let's up that strength a little bit. Make sure the frame is at 1, and let's try a strength of 10,000. And hit I, Alt-A to run the animation. Alright, better. But one thing I don't like about these settings is that the coin looks like it's moving way too slow. So to fix that, on the Properties tab, go over to the Scene Settings, and go down to the Rigid Body World section. In this speed box here, switch 1 to 1.5. Reset the frames, Alt-A. That's much better. We'll leave it there for now. So now we need to make it flip. You might think we just move the force over from the center of gravity of that coin, but nope, it doesn't work. The coin just kind of flies off to the side without rotating. Not exactly sure why. So we need to find a way around this. And the way we do this, let's add a cube here and scale it down so it's pretty small, but not too small. Raise it up a little. Then, just like our ground plane, add a collision attribute and a rigid body attribute, but uncheck the dynamic box in the rigid body section. Also, make sure your cube is over the coin and you didn't move the cursor to some random spot on screen. Alright, now let's see what we get. Alt-A, nothing. Let's zoom in. So if we key through the frames, we see that, well, the coin does hit the box, just not enough apparently. Let's try making the coin a little bigger. You may have to drag the coin down again. And Alt-A, again, still not working. This can be tricky to get exactly right. It takes a little trial and error. Let's make this box a little bigger. There we go. Let's up the strength to 25,000. Make sure you're on frame 1 when you do, and click I. Don't forget the I. Easy to miss. Let's try it again. Whoa, too much. Let's go down to 15,000 and I. That's better. Now, in order to keep it from hitting our cube on the way down, let's zoom in to the side view. Move the force 0.01 to the left, so gx negative 0.01. You really don't need much here. Then let's zoom out and try it. Cool, we're getting there. Let's try a force of 20,000. Again, make sure you're on frame 1 when you press I when you're done. I know you're going to miss at least one, and it's annoying. I missed like 50. Let's go down to 18,000. Alright, scale the cube up. Scale it up a little more. Scale it way up. Move it over. Hey, not bad. We're close. Move the cube back a little. Good. Just move it back a hair more. Good. Let's move this ground plane since our coin is headed this direction anyway. So I like that flip, but it looks unrealistic after the coin hits the ground. So with the coin selected, go down to this friction box, and let's make that 0.1. Then click on the ground and make its friction 0.1. Try it again. Better, but we still need more coin rotation. Make sure the ground is still selected and turn its bounciness up to 0.5. And same with the coin. Getting there. Let's scale the ground up in the X direction so the coin won't fall off again. Not bad. So now what I like to do, move the frame cursor to right before the coin hits the ground and keyframe the friction at 0.1. Just hit I to do this. You want to do this here because there is some friction when the coin hits that initial cube, and we want to keep the friction low for that. Then move one frame over and set the friction to 0.5 and press I. Then select the coin and move back one frame, key that at 0.1, and move one to the right again and keyframe that at 0.5. Cool. Alright, restart the animation. I'll take it. Now that coin rolled for quite a while, so let's make it settle a little faster. Now move the frame selection to right before the coin is about to settle. Over on this rigid body dynamics tab, we have these two damping values. Key the rotation at 0.1 on the coin. Then what I like to do is gradually decrease the damping, so move the frame way towards the end, about 162 looks like, and change the damping to 1 and hit I. Now let's try it again. Alright, that was pretty good. Cool, so you can change these values as you see fit to try and get the animation you want. So when you do, we need to then bake these frames so we can get rid of the cube in this scene. So make sure you let the whole animation play through. And make sure the coin is selected. Then go over here to this Physics tab and click Bake to Keyframe. Alright, so you see we have all of these keyframes created, and these all hold the information for our coin flip. So now you can delete the cube and delete the force field. And press Alt-A and we get our flip. Cool, so there you have it. There's a coin flip. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks.